have there been any instances where, probably based on social listening, you came up with probably a meal or a marketing campaign?
Right. Social listening can throw us off because sometimes it could be just a 1 week trend, but we should not get sucked in with the 1 week trend, right? It has to be something consistent.
So you spoke about your self-ordering kiosk, McD app, which is a strong channel for you, and then you have the quick commerce as well, which
Absolutely.
also means your digital marketing strategy needs to change. How do you approach this digital journey of a consumer?
Maybe start off with 50% of our spends on digital. Fast forward to now, 70%, 75% of spends are on digital. It could be on digital branding platforms like YouTube, Instagram. It could be on performance marketing for our McDelivery app. It also could be in retail media like Swiggy and Zomato, where we invest quite a bit.
When you think of McDonald's, chances are a memory comes rushing back. Maybe a birthday party, a late night McSaver, or that first taste of the McAloo Tikki. For Arvind RP, the Chief Marketing Officer of McDonald's India, West and South, those memories are both personal and professional, and they shape how he thinks about marketing today. In this conversation, we dive into how McDonald's is balancing nostalgia with reinvention, affordability with aspiration, and digital-first convenience with in-store experiences in one of the world's most competitive QSR markets.
Arvind, thank you so much for taking the time to be here and spending the time with Campaign India. I'm sure there is a lot to unpack when it comes to McDonald's and its plans for India.
I'm looking forward to this chat. Thanks for having me here.
Thank you. So let me dive straight in with one simple question, and this is something that almost anyone who loves McD knows. The way McDonald's has successfully customized its offerings for India. Now, while it has done that very adeptly, there is a lot of nuances that are there. It's not just about there is a customization doesn't have to be only from the culinary aspect. There is marketing also that is tied into it. So how easy or difficult has that been to, stitch up the marketing part with the culinary part?
I would say one of the strengths of the brand McDonald's, because it's successful across the globe, is the playbook is vast, right? And within the various playbooks, you have to find a way to make it very relevant for your market. That being said, it's not an easy task, right? Every culture is different, right? And when it comes to food, the food habits change vastly every 100 kilometers or sometimes even less. But the great news is food is a part of our culture. So it gives McDonald's marketeers, a fertile area to kind of do brand building. We believe in storytelling. We believe in emotion at the core of the brand. For that, we do a lot of insights. The other leg is on brand affinity, right? Irrespective of the menu campaign or whatever limited time offering we are doing, we believe in long-term affinity building with consumers. The idea is to refresh consumers' memories about the role or central role the brand plays in their lives. So the task of the marketeer is to keep hitting those and refreshing those memories in consumer minds. So the McDonald's meals campaign is all about those small moments, those big moments. The third is, of course, especially today's consumers are very cognizant on the food quality, hygiene, cleanliness, is where we have a campaigns on real food, real good, where we keep talking about how we are bringing quality food to the consumers. We talk about our cold chain and the efforts we're taking to kind of bring fresh produce to consumers and the innovation we are doing in that space. So these are the 2 or 3 ways, be it brand affinity or brand trust with real food, real good, or menu-led marketing.
India has always prided itself on the fact that maa ke haath ka khana, ghar ka khana. McDonald's, while even with the Diwali campaign, it did talk about how a McDonald's outlet is an extension of the home environment.
Right.
But do you feel that even in current times, when everyone is talking about eating sensibly, eating smart, eating home, that narrative can be easily spun in the larger framework of McDonald's, which is largely about good food, clean eating, and also the fact that quick eating.
Like you said, maa ki khana, ghar ka khana, nothing can beat that. At home, everyone is me time, right? The kids are engrossed on their phones, others are busy in the kitchen, and so on and so forth. So where is the we time, right? So there are a lot of moments outside home where it could be, for example, someone is shopping and they stop by at a McDonald's, or someone is going for a weekend outing Mumbai to Pune and they stop by at a McDonald's at our drive-thru. So those are the occasions we kind of bring alive, where the family comes together, and those, for someone it's nostalgia, right? But for someone else it's a hangout place, right? So different drivers for different consumers, different age segments, but how to bring alive those moments and keep hitting those moments regularly, I think is the core of the playbook.
McDonald's has been tapping into fandom for the past several years. Now, while that has got a novelty factor, how do you also ensure consistency is part of the overall brand narrative?
To build long-term brand affinity, you need to tap into cultures, right? And you need to go deep into cultures. About 4 years back, we did a BTS meal. Since K-pop was all the rage, is still the rage, and that opened our eyes to the Korean fandom and the possibilities of Korean fandom. Actually, since then, we have been thinking, Korean meal is around the corner, and we have been working on it, getting the right flavors, and now you see the Korean meal, right? Anime fans and McDonald's fans in anime have built a world of McDonald's. So we just have to take that insight because it's an existing proof of fandom within anime, and we did a whole thing around it. So for us, it's about going deep into culture. It's not just about ads; it's about experiences. So when you think of anime, we transformed our restaurants into anime, themed restaurants. For example, we have a Minecraft meal going on, and some of our restaurants have been transformed into Minecraft meal restaurants. So it's also about experiences for us to make it much more authentic. Else, just advertising alone will not do justice to such a deep storytelling and the potential this cultural space offers.
What are some of the marketing tools that you lean on when it comes to identifying what could be the next big wave, so that you actually capitalize on the bigger trends rather than the micro moments alone and invest in those?
Sure. Fair to say that this happens at two levels. One is globally and one is locally, right? Globally, the marketing team has been working on what are the next big campaigns for the next, let's say, 24 months. And because end of the day, when you talk to an Indian consumer, a McDonald's fan, he or she expects global experiences from a brand like McDonald's. No one else can bring a BTS meal to them, right? Or an anime meal to them, or a Minecraft meal to them. So they expect these things from a brand like McDonald's. And in these kind of global campaigns, 60, 100 countries participate, right? And of course, we are involved, all the countries are involved through the whole journey. So that's one kind of work that happens at a global level to identify and tap into global fandoms. And then, of course, it comes to India. Here, we take a lot of pain to kind of look at what's the next big thing in cuisine, right? Because here also consumers expect from McDonald's modern cuisine or global cuisine brought to them, right? So about 2 years back, we did McSpicy chicken with piri piri, right? Which is a global favorite, a global flavor, but has had a lot of traction in India. So to find out, we use a lot of social listening. We use a lot of secondary reports that taps into cuisine trends. Have to be careful that that cuisine trend is not niche, right? Because end of the day, we are a mass brand. We do a lot of cuisine testing to see, in the end, taste buds are what they are, right? And we need to kind of appeal to those taste buds, whatever cuisine it is, Italian, piri piri, Korean. So social listening, research, as well as tests with consumers kind of help us navigate this space.
So, have there been any instances where, probably based on social listening, you came up with probably a meal or a marketing campaign,
Right.
and didn't land the way you expected, so you quickly pivoted to something else and
Right.
tried to benefit
Sure.
from it?
Sometimes social listening can throw us off, right? Because sometimes it could be just a a 1 week trend, but we should not get sucked in with the 1 week trend, right? It has to be something consistent, right? For example, Korean cuisine has been there in India for about 8-10 years. But now, fast forward, Korean cuisine is there everywhere, right? So we mapped the whole genesis of it, right? What's making this big, right? And how big is it, right? And then we look at even consumer goods. So, for example, brands in other categories like noodles, chocolates, right? We look to them for inspiration because they are also, playing the same game. So this is the way we kind of come up with plan A, plan B, and we always have a plan B in case plan A doesn't work out.
What consumer behavior shifts are you observing in India, especially among value conscious middle income segments, which is largely the base that McDonald's caters to?
Right. Well, you nailed it with that. Indian consumers very value conscious, and perhaps more so in the recent past. Uh, and we have had our experiences in the last 25 years, right? What to do in these kind of times, and that is to go back to basics, right? So we have a global playbook on what we call as value platforms. So we have McSaver meals, which is our three-piece meals at an attractive price point. For us, it's all about being consistent on these value platforms, making sure consumers know that we are one of the most affordable brands out there. I think that's at the foundation of it, right? The consistent we are in that, we believe we will be resilient as far as any other macro trends goes. But on top of that, new news is always important, right? Because these value platforms, could become jaded for consumers. So that's the way we layer new news on an existing value platform and refresh the whole value platform. But we believe that is very key, and that kind of is one defining aspect of the Indian consumer. And once the playbook gets better and better, we will be, delivering differentiated outcomes. The other part of the Indian consumer is digital, right? All our restaurants have self-ordering kiosks. Consumers love it because they don't want to necessarily, many of them don't want to queue up at the front counter, stand in a line. They just want to customize their order, customize their burger at the self-ordering kiosk, or our own McDelivery app, right? We introduced it more than a decade back, and it's one of the key revenue drivers for us. So, in sum, being digitally forward, digitally centric is again very important for the Indian consumer who craves for convenience.
So, when you're talking about convenience driven commerce, one cannot not talk about quick commerce, which has also become another significant channel for QSRs. So, you spoke about your self ordering kiosk, your McD app, which is a strong channel for you, and then you have the quick commerce as well, which
Absolutely.
also means your digital marketing strategy needs to change. How do you approach this digital journey of a consumer?
This has been in the works for quite some time. Safe to say, in the last 6 to 7 years, maybe start off with 50% of our spends on digital. Fast forward to now, 70%, 75% of our spends are on digital. It could be on digital branding platforms like YouTube, Instagram. It could be on performance marketing for our McDelivery app. It also could be in retail media like Swiggy and Zomato, where we invest quite a bit. So while, and that's only gaining in dominance. So the spends on digital is only growing. And whenever we have done the market mix modeling studies to find out ROI of investments, digital clearly is a very effective platform, and that kind of encourages us to invest even more on digital. The simple thing we keep in mind is we have to be relevant for the consumer at all touch points.
But that relevance is also becoming a lot more difficult to cater to because the consumer is spoiled for choice. So while the Golden Arches is very popular, there are indigenous chains that are also gaining ground. McDonald's has a value proposition,
Right.
but then there are a lot of buyers who want the premiumization that is there.
Sure.
How do you cater to them while
Right.
keeping your core, which is your value customers, in mind?
Competition is increasing, and that's good news because in the end the category will grow, right? The formalization of the category will only speeden or hasten with the entrance of newcomers. But if I go back, right, one of our clear differentiators is the fact that we are omni-occasion or an omni-channel brand. No other brand can come close for our omni-channel proposition, right? Be it a drive-thru or a delivery. Those are head starts we have had over a period of time, and that kind of playbook is very hard to replicate for anyone. Even among the QSR industry, we stand out for our dine-in hospitality, the experience within our store, and so on and so forth. So there's a big head start we have on the omni-channel experience, I would say. But that apart, uh, the tastes evolve, right? You mentioned about premium burgers. We launched gourmet burgers about 3 years back. McCheese is a one of its kind innovation. Then we introduced McSpicy Premium, and last year we introduced McCrispy. So we have a great range of premium or gourmet burgers that are very filling. Our premium consumers really love ordering them in.
Uh, how is it that McDonald's marries or mixes nostalgia with innovation in its storytelling, especially because there's a Gen Z,
Right.
there's a millennial,
Right.
and there is the larger audience in the urban and the rural town. You need to have certain kind of consistency in your marketing, and at the same time, this kind of nuances. How does McDonald's do that?
Strength of the McDonald's brand is because it's democratic, right? It appeals to all age groups across all occasions. So a key task is to kind of make ourselves relevant to the Gen Z who are after college. They need a place to hang out before they go home, right? And many of our restaurants are hangout spots for this Gen Z, right? And then fast forward to families. Many of the families today want to order in, right? And how relevant we are to those consumers. Our playbook is centered around identifying those occasions. We do a lot of research with folks like McKinsey to kind of identify those occasions. And then we go after certain occasions, large occasions where we have a right to win, right? So we are very careful in selecting those occasions. But once we identify those occasions, we go after them with a multi-year campaign because none of this is possible in 1 year or in 2 quarters.
McDonald's organizes annual storytelling workshops with various agencies, and I believe DDP was
Yes.
one.
Yes.
Can you just enlighten me about how this internal creative exercise has directly influenced any of the campaign
Sure.
outcomes? And can you think of any campaign that
Sure.
really stands out in this manner?
Sure. The inspiration is many years back when I read Orlando Wood. He's an advertising expert. So what he says is, as far as showmanship is concerned, right, which is what a brand should be doing to tap light consumers, non-consumers, and do it consistently over a period of time. Emotion is the heart of it, right? And that's McDonald's playbook. End of the day, campaigns where emotion is the heart of it works brilliantly and works much better in lifting sales than campaigns which don't. So we are true believers in Orlando Wood's philosophy of emotion at the heart of showmanship, as he calls it. But this uh, emotion at the heart of it, right, cannot be left just to agencies, right? So if storytelling has to have emotion at the core, we need to develop the muscle, right? The marketing teams need to develop the muscle to come up with creative challenges, be able to appreciate truly great creative, right? Sometimes clients are safe, right? And when a great creative comes to the table, we get uncomfortable and don't go for it, right? But we need to develop the muscle to be brave, to be able to spot a great creative when it's presented to us. But more importantly, going back a bit, be able to pose a creative challenge to the creative agency, right? So we can't just leave it at the business challenge and say, now I want a great creative. So that was a task. And obviously, 1 day or 2 days in a year cannot solve for it. So it's been now 3 years. We have been doing the storytelling workshop. We were lucky to have someone like Amin of Storywallahs to do this workshop, and every year he managed to do it very differently. And obviously, between McDonald's and DDB, we are one team. We all attend this workshop. Even the creatives from DDB are a part of this workshop. It has been really transformational. I can tell you some campaigns like Equal. where we really broke the stereotype of campaigns, and we dreamt big, right? If McDonald's is a democratic brand, uh, how do we kind of make sure we are attacking the inequalities or the reasons people are not able to access the brand, right? And how do we address those inequalities or points of access, right? The first one was for people with upper limb disabilities about 4 years back, where we launched a special packaging so that they can access the brand. 2 years back, we launched Equal Colors, which is about colorblind people, right? End of the day, you not only eat food, but you appreciate it through the colors, right? And that's a core part of enjoying food. But what about people with color blindness? So we enabled again color blindness on our app. These initiatives are very brave, right? And we need to have the ability to push the creative boundaries, right? And we do creative testing all the time. The creative testing scores that we have got over time. Again, going back to business results, in the end, all of this is for the long-term health of the business, right? And when you see that falling into place, we believe that the playbook is being developed.
Okay. Thank you so much, Arvind,
My
for
pleasure.
taking the
My
time. It was
pleasure.
lovely to know about what really keeps the golden arch in India going and
Thank you
how
so much.
the brain behind the muscle is actually functioning. So,
Thank you
thank
so
you
much.
so much for taking the time.
Thank you.